Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Well, alright, it looks like everyone's responses have been pretty enthusiastic when it comes to having, let's say, a news section dedicated to stories about cryptids and monsters and maybe some ghosts and spirits, and who knows, maybe even some urban legends as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do a new video here focusing again on news related stuff. In this case, by the way that you'll find which videos are dedicated to it, I'll just simply put in parentheses news next to the title itself. So that way it'll help differentiate exactly which video is just dedicated to news and then which video is actually dedicated to talking about a particular subject matter, like a particular ghost or a particular cryptid and so forth. So this one, let me go ahead and I'll give an update then to what has occurred with a case that I talked about, I think it was nearly a year and a half ago. Can you believe that? It's already been that quick already. It had to do with the case of these two girls that stabbed one of their friends because they were believing that doing so would help draw out the cryptid, creepypasta spirit. I don't exactly know what kind of category he is, but to help draw out the being known as the Slender Man. So again, this happened May 31st, 2014. Last time I talked about this, it was very preliminary stuff, not really anything involving what happened with the case itself, with going to court, what some of the results were. So this is all a quick update on that part. First off though, just a quick refresher on what had initially occurred. May 31st, 2014, there were these two girls, which you're looking at a picture of here, who were at that time 12 years old. One was named Morgan, the other one is named Anissa. They purportedly stabbed, it's because the trial is still going to happen, so until it's actually convicted, then we'll see the final results. But they are apparently stabbed, or allegedly stabbed, their friend, who was also a 12-year-old named Peyton Lutner, stabbed her no less than 19 times there in the woods at a place called Waukesha, Wisconsin. And the reason they did this is because the girls were on the belief that they would be able to draw out the Slender Man if maybe they brought forth some kind of victim or some kind of sacrifice of some sort. It's very weird, but all in all, even with being stabbed 19 times, this poor girl Peyton was able to actually make it out of the woods because they had left her behind at that point. She had made it out of the woods, and then she was found by someone, and she lived. She actually was rushed to the hospital, and she had what was considered obviously life-threatening injuries at the time, but she survived. So much so that she was able to actually state exactly who caused this, and then that's when the two girls were arrested. So here are the updates associated with it. You have to go now almost a year and a half later, and we finally have an update with regards to the case itself. It's commonly known, I've been following a lot of court cases. I'm a huge fan of any of the world, anything involving high profile cases, and it's commonly known that one of the, I guess you call them, tactics that defense attorneys and defense clients do is they try to delay things as much as they can. And the reason for it is the more you delay something, the more likely, especially when it comes to witnesses, that it's going to be in the favor of the defense, because the longer something takes, then the more effort you have to have with witnesses coming forth, and then witnesses putting things together. Not only that, but the prosecutors have to put evidence together. Defense always calls out more evidence. They introduce new items. Everything has to be re-reviewed, and it's all about making sure that, let's say, whenever something is finally being done in terms of an actual court case, like people are giving testimony or evidence is being brought forth, the idea is that it has been so long by then that people either can't recall, or they're giving contradictions, or evidence has withered away. It's along those lines. So that's why it's taken so long. And I think that's what's happening in this case, because up until August of this year, so again, May 2014 was when the incident occurred. They were shortly arrested thereafter. Now you cut back to almost a year and a half later, August, and barely the first thing has been done. and that is the judge, a guy by the name of Judge Boren, who you're looking at a picture here, finally ruled, and this was very important, that the girls would go to trial not in juvenile court but in adult court. The prosecutors wanted the girls to be charged and arrested and to have the trial being placed in adult court, because that means when it comes to convictions, especially if they're found guilty, that they would have adult sentences. In fact, if it still goes forward that way, then they could actually each face up to 65 years in prison, which is basically the life for them, a life sentence altogether. The defense, of course, does not want that. They want them to be tried as juveniles because the sentencing there will be much, much more lenient, and so that way they'll have much more chance of a life afterward. No doubt, if they even if they do get found guilty, let's say in juvenile court, the sentence time would be much less, a fraction of it, so that way they could get out of jail during their adult life and then start things over. Who knows, there may even be the chance that if they get tried in juvenile court, that they'll have some kind of strange probation, or who knows. But the judge first started in August by stating that yes, no, they're going to be tried in adult, not in juvenile court, so they're going to be tried as adults. Well, as a standard, apparently, when it comes to court cases, that was appealed by the defense. So the thing that's pending now is very, very soon, I think it's at the end of this month or in early October, that the appeals court that has taken on the case, the Court of Appeals from the defense, they will determine whether they agree with what the judge stated or not. And if they do agree with what the judge stated, then it stands that they will continue to have everything done in adult court. But if the Court of Appeals says no, they don't agree, then it'll be taking place in juvenile court, which is much more favorable, again, for the defense. So that's what it's hinging on right now. And it seems like it's going to be September 30th that some of the information might be granted, but it could be delayed till later on in 2015. So once that comes about, whatever that is, I'll share that information with you here, and then that way we'll get yet another update. But yeah, it's already been a year and a half with regards to this case. No doubt, I don't think we're going to hear anything towards the end of September, because I think it's probably going to be towards later on this year. But again, the minute it happens, I'll share it with everyone here. But absolutely, it's crazy. It's nutty how some people have taken the legend of Slender Man and applied it to like this real life basis, thinking that they could draw something like him out altogether, when of course at the end of the day he was simply made up. And it became a life of its own through that creepy pasta website, that Wikia website, that people to this day, I guess, still ask me to talk about and say some of the stuff associated with that website. But again, it's all made up stuff. It's just it's more along the lines of tall tales, kind of like those scary stories to tell in the dark kind of thing. So, but in this case with these girls, however their mindset was, here they are thinking that no, this is 100% real, and they took it out on this other poor, unfortunate girl altogether. So, but yeah, as soon as any other update comes up, I'll let everyone know. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye.